Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Twin Rivers Triangle Environmental Coalition meeting. On behalf of Chasten Gold nonprofit, thank you for joining us. We are pleased to welcome everyone participating with us in person, as well as those joining online through our virtual platform or watching through our recorded presentation. I will be serving as tonight's facilitator alongside our TAG, Grant Community Engagement representatives, and technical advisors. Tonight's presentation is called Community Rights and Participation. During our previous meetings, we discussed the history and neighborhood context of the Twin Rivers Triangle area, common environmental contaminants, exposure pathways, and the environmental site investigation process. Tonight, we are shifting our focus from how environmental investigations work to how residents can actively participate in those investigations and in the decisions that may follow. We will discuss public comments, environmental records, opportunities to provide community input, and the important role residents play in environmental decision-making. Environmental projects should not simply happen around the community. They should include the community. The people who live, work, attend school, worship, travel, and raise their families near a site deserve timely information and meaningful opportunities to participate. Whether this is your first coalition meeting or you have attended several, we are grateful that you are here. Your time, experiences, questions, and ideas are valuable. Before we begin tonight's main discussion, we would like to introduce Chasten Gold for anyone participating for the first time. Chasten Gold nonprofit is committed to advancing environmental health, racial equity, housing stability, and community empowerment across Sacramento and surrounding counties. We work in partnership with residents, community organizations, and public agencies to amplify local voices, deliver independent technical assistance, and address systemic barriers through direct service and advocacy. Our focus also includes engaging and empowering impoverished and unhoused veterans, families, and individuals seeking assistance with employment, shelter, and connections to appropriate services within their local communities. Through the Technical Assistance Grant, Chasten Gold helps residents understand environmental reports, ask informed questions, identify areas of concern, and participate more confidently in environmental decision-making. Our role is not to replace the regulatory agencies, consultants, or property owners responsible for investigating and addressing the site. Our role is to serve as an independent and trusted community resource. We help translate technical language into plain language and create opportunities for residents to share questions, concerns, and lived experiences. At the heart of the Technical Assistance Grant is a simple truth. Communities deserve to be heard, informed, and empowered. Through this grant, Chasten Gold provides trusted support to help residents better understand environmental issues, participate in decision-making, and advocate for lasting change. Whether someone is navigating a complicated cleanup process, reviewing technical information, or seeking to protect their neighborhood, our goal is to ensure that community voices are amplified and supported by expert guidance and educational resources. Together, we are not only addressing contamination, we are building pathways toward environmental justice, transparency, accountability, and a healthier future for all. Community participation is not an extra part of the environmental process, it is an essential part of the process. Residents often possess neighborhood knowledge that may not appear in technical reports, historical records, or maps. They may remember former businesses, unusual odors, flooding, dumping, construction, truck traffic, property changes, or other conditions that can help investigators better understand a site. Your voice matters because your experiences can add important context to technical information. Let us review tonight's agenda. First, we will discuss public comments and why they matter. Second, we will explain how residents can access environmental records, including investigation reports, sampling results, cleanup plans, public notices, and health risk assessments. Third, we will review the different points during an environmental project when community members can provide input. Our research topic will examine why meaningful community participation can improve environmental cleanup decisions. We will also discuss what residents love most about their community, conduct a 10 to 15-minute breakout session, review community questions, and close with ways residents can remain involved. Please write down any questions that come to mind during the presentation. We will provide time later in the meeting for questions, comments, and discussion. Before discussing community rights, let us briefly revisit the Twin Rivers Triangle site and the purpose of the TAG program. The Twin Rivers Triangle project site is located in Sacramento, California. The Technical Assistance Grant Program provides funding to eligible communities so they may obtain independent technical advisors. The goal is to help residents understand technical environmental information and become more informed and involved in cleanup sites and response actions. A response action may include activities performed to investigate, control, remove, or otherwise address an actual or potential release of contamination at a property under regulatory oversight. The Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency, commonly referred to as SHRA, purchased the Triangle site in July 2011. The property was acquired with the intention of transferring the light rail station site to Sacramento Regional Transit for development of a light rail station and redeveloping the Triangle housing site with residential units and possibly ground floor retail space. Cleanup addressing heavy metal impacts in near-surface soils was performed for the light rail site in 2023. Further environmental assessment and subsequent cleanup activities for the Triangle housing site were planned for the 2025 to 2026 period. This history is important because future land use can affect investigation and cleanup decisions. For example, a property planned for residential housing may be evaluated differently from a property intended only for limited industrial use because residents, children, families, and workers may experience different types and lengths of potential exposure. Community members have an important interest in understanding both the environmental conditions and how future decisions may affect the neighborhood. We will now begin with the first major topic, public comment. The phrase public comment may sound formal or legal, but the basic concept is simple. Public comment gives residents an opportunity to share information, questions, concerns, and recommendations before certain environmental decisions are finalized. Sometimes public comment occurs during a formal period announced by an agency. At other times, residents may provide comments through meetings, emails, surveys, office hours, community organizations, or written correspondence. A public comment does not need to be written by an environmental scientist or attorney. A meaningful comment can come from a resident describing a neighborhood concern, requesting a clearer explanation, identifying a location that may have been overlooked, or asking how a proposed cleanup could affect nearby families. Our public comment period provides residents with an opportunity to provide feedback before important environmental decisions are finalized. You may always list your comments below if you are watching online. Community comments may include questions about investigations. For example, were enough samples collected? Were samples collected from the correct depths? Were the areas closest to homes through schools, parks, or walkways considered? Residents may also raise concerns about neighborhood impacts. These concerns may include dust, noise, truck traffic, work hours, temporary road closures, site security, language access, or how residents will be notified before field work begins. Community members may provide suggestions for future cleanup. For example, residents might ask whether additional dust control measures can be used, whether work can be scheduled to avoid school arrival and dismissal times, or whether ongoing monitoring should continue after cleanup. Residents may also request additional information. A resident might ask for a plain language summary, a sampling map, an explanation of technical terms, translated materials, or a clearer timeline. Every thoughtful comment can help decision makers better understand community priorities. However, it is helpful for comments to be specific. Rather than simply saying, "I do not like the plan," a resident could say, "I am concerned about construction dust because several homes are located close to the property. What dust control measures will be used, and how will residents be notified if monitoring identifies a problem?" That type of comment clearly identifies the concern and asks for a specific response. Our next topic is access to environmental records. Residents cannot meaningfully participate if they do not have access to the information being used to make decisions. Environmental records may include technical reports, laboratory results, maps, proposed cleanup plans, public notices, agency correspondence, and risk assessments. Some documents may be publicly available online. Others may be available through an agency repository, records request, local office, project webpage, or community organization. Access does not only mean that a document technically exists somewhere. Meaningful access also means that residents know where to find it, understand what it contains, and have a way to ask questions about it. Residents may have opportunities to review several types of public environmental documents. The first example is a site investigation report. This type of report may explain the site's history, where samples were collected, what laboratory methods were used, what contaminants were detected, and whether further investigation is recommended. The next example is sampling results. Sampling results may appear in tables showing the substances tested, concentrations detected, sample depths, and collection dates. These tables can be difficult to interpret without context. Residents may ask what comparison values were used, whether a detected concentration is considered elevated, and what the result means for the site. Another important record is a cleanup plan. A cleanup plan may describe the proposed cleanup method, areas to be addressed, protective measures, transportation and disposal procedures, monitoring requirements, and the anticipated schedule. Residents may also review public notices. Public notices may announce meetings, comment periods, proposed decisions, investigation activities, or opportunities to review documents. A health risk assessment may evaluate potential exposure pathways and estimate possible risks under specific assumptions. These reports can include technical terms, calculations, and scenarios that require careful explanation. Many records may be available to the Department of Toxic Substances Control, local agencies, or project websites. Understanding these reports can help residents make more informed decisions and submit stronger questions and comments. Chasten Gold's technical advisors can assist residents by reviewing available documents and explaining key findings in plain language. When reviewing a technical document, residents do not need to read every page before asking questions. You may begin with 5 basic areas. First, read the executive summary or conclusions. Second, identify the purpose of the report. Third, review maps showing where sampling occurred. Fourth, look for recommendations and remaining data gaps. Fifth, identify the proposed next steps and timeline. Residents can then ask questions such as, what did the investigation confirm? What remains unknown? Were all areas of concern evaluated? What assumptions were used? What additional work is recommended? How will residents be notified before the next phase? These questions can make a technical document more manageable. We will now discuss community input points. Community participation should not occur only at the end of a project. There may be opportunities for input during several stages, including site investigation, risk evaluation, cleanup planning, field work, monitoring, and long-term site management. Early involvement is especially valuable because concerns raised before a plan is finalized may be easier to address. Residents should not feel that they must wait until a formal public hearing to ask questions. Questions and observations can also be submitted through community meetings, emails, office hours, surveys, and technical assistance grant activities. Community members can participate in several ways. The first is by attending public meetings. Meetings provide opportunities to hear updates, ask questions, listen to other residents, and learn which decisions are approaching. Residents may also ask questions directly. A question can identify an issue that needs clarification even when the resident is not yet ready to submit a formal recommendation. Written comments are another important tool. Written comments create a clear record and allow residents to explain concerns in greater detail. Community members may also join community advisory groups or coalitions. These groups can help residents work together, identify shared priorities, and follow the project over time. Residents can also share neighborhood history with investigators. Local knowledge may help identify former property uses, locations where materials were stored, areas that frequently flooded, or conditions not captured in available records. Participation can occur throughout the cleanup process. Residents do not need to be environmental experts to make a meaningful contribution. The most helpful contributions are often based on lived experience, thoughtful questions, and clear descriptions of community needs. Tonight's research topic focuses on why meaningful community participation improves environmental cleanup decisions. Environmental projects with early and consistent engagement may identify local concerns sooner, improve public trust, increase transparency, and create plans that better reflect neighborhood priorities. Residents frequently possess historical information that may not be available in written records. For example, a longtime resident may remember where a former business stored materials, where trucks entered the property, where water collected after storms, or where children historically played. This information may help investigators understand former land uses and potential contamination sources. Community participation can also improve how a cleanup is implemented. Residents may identify sensitive times for truck traffic, recommend communication methods that reach more households, or explain why translated materials are necessary. Meaningful participation does not mean that every resident request will automatically become part of the final decision. It means that residents have a genuine opportunity to provide information, ask questions, receive responses, and understand how their concerns were considered. Trust is built not by promising that everyone will always agree, but by communicating honestly, providing understandable information, and responding respectfully to community concerns. Before moving into our breakout activity, we would like to ask a positive and important question. What do you love most about your community? Environmental discussions often focus on problems, contamination, and risk. However, communities are much more than the challenges they face. The Twin Rivers area includes families, friendships, history, culture, small businesses, youth, faith communities, shared spaces, and residents who care deeply about one another. Understanding what residents value helps decision makers understand what the community wants to protect. We will now transition into tonight's breakout session. We will divide participants into 4 groups. For participants joining online, we will use virtual breakout rooms when possible. Anyone joining by telephone or unable to enter a breakout room may remain in the main meeting with the facilitator. Each group will discuss 4 questions. What information would help you feel comfortable participating during public meetings? What barriers prevent residents from participating? How could agencies make technical information easier to understand? What would encourage more neighbors to become involved? Please select one person to serve as your group spokesperson and another person to record the main ideas. You will have approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Please consider barriers such as meeting times, childcare, transportation, internet access, language disability access, lack of trust, technical language, limited notice, or uncertainty about whether comments will matter. When we return, our mediator will read responses from 2 groups aloud. The ideas from all 4 groups will be documented as part of our community engagement record. We will now begin. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for participating and sharing your ideas. We've learned and understand that residents just want clear notice. They want information written in understandable language. They want different ways to participate. They want accessibility and language support. They want to know how their comments are being used. These are important recommendations because meaningful participation requires more than inviting people to a meeting. It requires reducing the barriers that prevent residents from being able to participate fully. We will now open the floor and comments or chat for our broader community discussion. The question is, if you could improve one part of the public participation process, what would it be and why? Please feel welcome to answer in person through the online comment section or by sending your response to Chasten Gold after the meeting. We received an important community question. How much influence do community comments actually have on cleanup decisions? The most accurate answer is that the influence of comments depends on the issue raised, the project phase, the available evidence, regulatory requirements, and the authority of the decision maker. Community comments may identify missing information, overlooked locations, neighborhood concerns, communication barriers, or practical implementation issues. A comment supported by specific facts, lived experience, photographs, records, or a clear explanation may help decision makers recognize an issue that requires further review. Community comments can also influence how information is communicated, how residents are notified, how work is scheduled, what protective measures are considered, or whether additional explanation is needed. However, public participation does not mean that every recommendation will automatically be accepted. Cleanup decisions must also comply with environmental laws, technical standards, risk evaluations, feasibility considerations, and regulatory requirements. The most meaningful process is one in which comments are documented, reviewed, and answered. Even when an agency does not adopt a recommendation, residents should receive a clear explanation of how the issue was evaluated. That transparency helps residents understand the decision and strengthens accountability. This coalition is meaningful for several reasons. First, it helps address environmental inequities. Many Sacramento neighborhoods, especially low-income and historically marginalized communities, experience greater exposure to pollution, contaminated properties, industrial activities, and poor environmental conditions. The coalition seeks to close these gaps and advocate for cleaner and safer environments. Second, the coalition empowers community voices. Residents deserve a seat at the table when decisions are being made about their health, land, housing, neighborhood, and future. This coalition helps ensure that community members are heard, informed, and involved in environmental decision-making. Third, the coalition promotes accountability and action. By bringing together residents, advocates, experts, organizations, and local leaders, the coalition can ask important questions, request clearer information, identify community priorities, and support solutions that protect public health and the environment. Environmental justice requires both technical work and meaningful public participation. The two must work together. There are several ways residents can support this coalition. You can participate in person or through the live online question and answer section. You may submit comments before or after meetings. You may volunteer to support outreach, educational events, community surveys, or information distribution. You may also submit scientific research, community observations, lived experiences, and questions for our technical advisors. The slide lists support@chastengold.org for technical questions and community information. General questions and support requests may also be submitted to support@chastengold.org. You can also share coalition information with neighbors, schools, churches, tenant groups, local organizations, and other trusted community networks. Participation does not require a formal title or technical degree. Your time, knowledge, and lived experience can all support this work. Volunteers and supporters may be recognized through the Chasten Gold website and annual report. They may receive invitations to annual fundraising events and other community activities. Most importantly, volunteers join a committed group of residents and supporters working toward a brighter future for today and tomorrow. Volunteers may help with outreach, meeting support, community education, surveys, event coordination, document distribution, or connecting residents with available services. Each contribution helps expand the reach of environmental education and community engagement. We welcome continued communication after tonight's meeting. Questions, comments, research links, community observations, or requests for assistance may be emailed to support@chastengold.org. You may also visit www.chastengold.org. Please include Twin Rivers Triangle TAG in your email subject line whenever possible. That will help ensure that your message reaches the appropriate team member. When submitting a technical question, it may also be helpful to identify the specific report, slide, map, location, or environmental term connected to your question. As we conclude tonight's meeting, we would like to thank everyone who joined us in person and online. Thank you for sharing your time, asking thoughtful questions, participating in the breakout session, and helping us identify ways to improve community participation. Tonight, we learned that public comment gives residents an opportunity to provide feedback before important environmental decisions are finalized. We discussed how residents may access investigation reports, sampling results, cleanup plans, public notices, and health risk assessments. We reviewed the many points during an environmental project when residents may provide input. We also learned that meaningful participation can improve trust, transparency, communication, and environmental decision making. Most importantly, we were reminded that community participation is not limited to people with technical backgrounds. Residents contribute through their lived experiences, neighborhood knowledge, observations, questions, and vision for the future. Please continue sending questions and comments to support@chastengold.org. Your voice helps strengthen this coalition and supports a more transparent, inclusive, and community-centered environmental process. On behalf of Chasten Gold nonprofit, our TAG brand community engagement representatives, technical advisors, volunteers, and community partners, thank you for being part of tonight's Twin Rivers Triangle Environmental Coalition meeting. Please travel home safely, take care of yourselves and one another, and have a wonderful
you second it?